Our top story this morning is in Canberra because Parliament will officially return today. The first with Anthony Albanese as Prime Minister. It'll be a day of tradition and ceremony, kicking off with a church service in Canberra, and we have got Andrea Crothers, who is right there for us, and she is live for us. Andrea, how significant is this moment for the Prime Minister?
Pete, it's huge, not just for the Prime Minister, but for the party. Back in power after being in opposition for nearly a decade. Labor in government as the 47th Parliament officially opens today. It'll be a day of mostly ceremony. You have the church service that parliamentarians are at right now, and then you'll see new ones sworn in. This was the Prime Minister as he was entering church today.
Morning, everyone. How are you? It is a big day.
A new Prime Minister and new policy priorities. 18 pieces of legislation due to be introduced into Parliament this week. The most contentious is that climate change bill. Labor seeking to enshrine that 43% emissions reduction target by 2030, net zero by 2050. We know it will go through the lower house. It's the upper house where the challenge is, though, appearing to have tweaked it to allow it to be a floor, not a ceiling, so the target to be lifted over time if wanted, as is the wish of the Greens, the ones who will be needing to get on side to get this through the Senate.
Mr Littleproud, are you going to be supporting the climate change bill?
No, we've been very clear on that. We've made it clear that the big hand of government doesn't need to tell Australians what to do. We meet our targets without having to tell them what to do. Once you legislate, you're putting in place a tax.
We'll negotiate with the crossbenchers and other parties, including the Nationals, but we won't be moving away from the core principles of that policy.
Yeah, I do think it is time to put the climate wars aside. I'll look to see the legislation, and then of course I'll also be listening closely to my colleagues and to their views.
Pete, this is the first real test of the Prime Minister's negotiation skills.